I didn't. I didn't. I'll tell you right now. I thought Ryan was gonna knock his ass out, and it was the other way around.
He dropped him in the second round and then outboxed him.
Yeah, and when we say outboxed him, right? Let's not say because people say outboxed and sometimes think you can be like moving around. He wasn't even moving around. He was there.
Mid range.
Yeah, he was there mid range, where Ryan has the longer range, and yeah, he was locked in. He was able to see it. He was locked in. And Ryan, for some reason, he just wasn't able to let nothing go. Not his jab, not that left hook, nothing.
Mm-hmm. You know how it is when you can stay in that mid range for the whole fight. You know that that's like a good spot to be in. You know, to see Roelly as a fighter, you must have been like kind of impressed. Like, oh, maybe him and Silas must have been working on a lot of different things. Did you see a better Roelly?
Yeah, but I think it's sometimes it's the humble. I feel like you can't do both. Like there's some fighters who try to talk shit and they can't back it up. You know, everybody tries to be like Muhammad Ali, call out the round and knock them on that round like if they that nigga. But sorry to y'all, not everybody's that nigga, and y'all can't try to be that nigga. You know, so an example, I feel like the more Teofimo tries to put on the show, the less he's able to perform. I don't think he can do one or the other. Roelly, he's gotten humbled a couple of times where the press conference, even after the fight, he's just he just learned how to keep that mouth shut, and he got the victory. Versus every single other time he's talking smack, he's getting his shit whacked.
Damn.
You know, so some fighters got to learn how to just keep it humble. But I understand it's tough. You got to entertain, you got to talk in this, but sometimes you're not performing the way you're talking.
Telling my man HLD that about TO2. I was like, I think he could have did more because there was a lot of showboating. A lot of showboating that I felt like he probably could have put a little bit more, beat the brakes on Barbosa a little bit more, put him in the hospital type shit.
A lot of the energy was exerted. I'm not saying that was exerted like if he didn't have the stamina, but and trying to give him a different look, Barbosa a different look for him to swing, because I know Teofimo probably just wanted to counter because that's what his game is. Make him swing, make him miss, make him pay, right? And that's why he was, dropping and doing all this stuff. But Barbosa wasn't really biting into it as much either. A couple of times he did, but Teofimo didn't counter it. Or couldn't.
Levels though, you know what I mean? Like when you see fighters playing around with certain fighters, but they can't play around like that with all the fighters like that. You know how it is, Jamaine. Come on,
Yeah, no.
Tio wasn't doing all.
You can't do that with just anybody. You can't do that with just anybody. So that was the most entertainment, and it wasn't even entertainment of shots. It was entertainment of just, giving a dancing lesson inside the ring.
And I knew that they shouldn't have stuck Tio first. He should have been the main co-main event at least, at minimum.
Devin should have been first. Tio. I don't even know why Ryan and Garcia was the main event. They thought, you know why? Because that was the one that was most high likely to end in a knockout. That's why. And it did have a knockdown. Got to give him that.
Down, yep. That was the entertainment right there.
Yeah.
How was the vibes? You was there.
It was good, to be honest. It was good. Man, Times Square, they had the roads blocked off. I just didn't know, like, they didn't even get to have, like, really a proper ring walk. They drove in through a cab. I think they was in another hotel, like, right down the block. Picked them up, drove them there, just get out, walk it. You can't walk with your crew or how you normally do with somebody rapping you out, whatever. It was just different. I don't know if that played a role. Ryan said, it's different with the fans not being there, and like he was able to hear Shakur and people just talking. So it was different. But I'm like, I fought in the bubble. I fought during COVID when there was nobody. So I was still able to perform. I don't think that played a role. But to each his own. Turkey was putting up the money and promoting. It's not like it matters anyways, because it's not like he's selling tickets for fans to actually make money, you know? So it's not about selling to make sure that the promoters make more money.
That
That has
part.
nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he could just give up a little bit more money himself, Turkey, if he decides, like just to push it to make sure it happens or something.
So I don't know, man. I think even Roelly was like, just let them two have the rematch. He had no interest in it. I'm like, shoot, let them run it back, and me and Roelly will run it.
Hmm. You will go to welterweight?
Welterweight. I've been trying. Them guys have been on the radar since 135. We're two weight divisions above that. Still, it doesn't matter. All our bodies are the same size.
That part. Who would you favor in the rematch if they did fight? Devin or Ryan after those performances.
There was another saying there was another saying, Ryan ain't the same without them P.E.Ds, and he wasn't throwing no shots. So if he come with the same energy, that he did against Roelly, I'm gonna have to go with Devin. But I guess that's what you lobby, right? What type of fighter is gonna come in that day? Because we've seen fighters come and look spectacular, and then we've seen the same fighters come in and poop the show. So I guess it just really depends how they decide to show up.
Do you feel like it had to do with that as far as the P.E.Ds, or do you feel like maybe that shot in the second round humbled Ryan's attitude towards the whole fight?
Saying the shot that Ryan took,
Yeah, from Roelly in the second round
that it humbled him from the
to
fight
not, yeah,
to not
to
fight
not really go for it.
to not go for the fight with Devin.
Not to not go, entirely, balls to the walls with Roelly. He was like hesitant.
I don't think I don't think it should have mattered to Ryan because he's already got a knockout loss to Davis. So it's not like you're undefeated and like you never faced defeat. It's not like you've never tasted defeat before.
But I'm fighting you in the second round. It's so early. We got 10 more rounds, and I gotta deal with the punches that you give me. So do you know what I mean? The crowd.
But you've recovered. You've had to recover at least by the sixth round, and especially that you go up in weight because what drains you the most when it comes to not recovering well from a shot is when you have to cut weight really bad. That's what makes your legs go. But you went up to 147. You shouldn't have had no problem making weight. You shouldn't have had to cut weight bad, and that really affected you. For me, cutting weight is what really affects people getting dropped and taking hard shots and not being able to withstand them and hold them down.